But here's a major one. Here's a major one that I'm kind of taking issue with. And I hope,
which one of us is about to get in trouble?
I hope that this was one that the other gave to the other and not neither one of you guys have seen this. On July 1st, you guys watched Toy Story, the original.
Oh, okay. So we both had seen Toy Story. We had a guest on for that one because occasionally we have guests. Okay. So we had a guest on who had not seen Toy Story. Don't worry. We both had seen Toy Story.
All right.
Can we stay friends?
Yes.
I like that Lester is calling this out, though, because we are hoping to at some point get someone on to do Star Wars. And Lester's a person that's never seen Star Wars.
Have you still not seen Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Okay.
So who? Okay, let's go back to one because I think I'm gonna make it a theme to do this. As long as people are annoyed by it.
To try to shame us?
Not to shame it, but to just kind of troll.
Okay. I think that's the different word for the same thing.
I'm okay with it.
But okay, I mean, I'm fine either way. But
it's consensual trolling.
Consent
is what matters. So
2001, Space Odyssey.
I had never
Stanley
seen it.
Kubrick. You never saw it.
He had never seen it. So I showed it to him. Mm-hmm.
When did you see it?
I saw it in probably my early teens and did not get it.
Because Stanley Kubrick is overrated.
I saw it at 29 and I still don't get it.
I still don't know if I fully got it seeing it again.
Then let's talk about it because I originally wanted to call my podcast Stanley Kubrick is Overrated. And so 2001 isn't one of my, if I'm being honest, what I like from Stanley Kubrick, I love A Clockwork Orange. Have you guys watched it?
We have not seen.
I have not seen that one.
Okay, one for the list.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid, not Metal Gear Solid, Full Metal Jacket.
I love the PlayStation 1 game you made.
The first part. Solid. And I do enjoy The Shining. It's a little slow at times, but I do think it's a good thriller. But 2001.
Yeah.
Kind of stupid, ain't it?
Well, okay, so
I like it a lot.
A couple thoughts on Kubrick. So we were doing a thing before we even started the podcast. I kind of got obsessed a few years ago with watching famous directors' filmographies in order to see them grow and to see the change of their style.
We did a lot of Spielberg through in order from the beginning.
We watched everything from like Duel. Actually, I think
I don't know how you do Spielberg.
What is the other one? It's not Sunset.
Not
Pony Express. Something Express.
I'm not gonna come up with it. It's been a minute now.
Who made it?
Spielberg. It's one of his first movies.
No.
It's pre-Duel. Which is a cool movie actually if you want to check out Duel. It's about it's pretty much Jaws. Except instead of a shark, it's a truck. A truck stalking a man.
Oh, with is it Chris Christopherson in that one?
I have no idea.
Keep talking, I'll look it up.
But so then we were going to do Kubrick in order and decided to do a couple of them on the podcast since there are some.
So
we
for Kubrick,
seen.
We skipped Paths of Glory, we skipped The Killing, but we started at Spartacus, and I showed it to Lolo, and then we did. We skipped Lolita. We did.
I skipped Lolita, but
I watched Lolita.
I had
by
seen
myself.
it before. I didn't feel like rewatching it.
But then we watched Doctor Strange, Love and How I Learned to Love the Atomic Bomb, and then we did 2001: A Space Odyssey. We still need to do.
We need to keep going.
I want to keep going. I want to do Clockwork Orange. I want to do Shining because I haven't seen either of those.
I don't really want to do Shining.
I've seen Full Metal.
Okay, who you saw Clockwork?
No, neither of us have seen Clockwork.
Seen Clockwork, and neither of us have seen The Shining. But I do think that Kubrick is a good director.
I think
he's a good filmmaker. Using the word director.
Yeah, I think that definitely he has some issues with the way he's treats
people.
People in the past.
So I don't know anything about this. Caitlin brought that up, and I kind of brushed over it because some things I do try to do, and I know
there's a whole story about him and Shelley Duvall and him kind of mentally breaking her on the set of The Shining, and it's kind of because he was obsessed with doing many takes. He likes doing a bunch of takes because he believed that if you weared the actor down eventually
to
you
the
would
point
wear
of
down,
exhaustion and emotional breaking point.
you would wear down the ability to act, and you just have the ability to react.
He just wanted
and
them to be
in that moment.
actually emotionally broken,
which is a bit
which
much.
is abusive.
I fear becoming that person. I do. I think about that sometimes. It's like, because I do get in a place where with my most recent film that we shot, like, I am very big on trusting people. Like, or I want to be that person, at least, where I can say, you know what, like, we went through everything, so you kind of know what I'm looking for.
You know what I'm trying to make. I've hired people better than me. Do your thing.
Basically. But then, you watch it and you're like, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And you feel so close to it. And then I try to make sure, like, at least, because I get very obsessive, like, the jokes aside and all the, like, bullshitting, when it's time for me to, like, really drill in, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, when I'm at work and things aren't going right, or the communication is broken down, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? Like, you don't know how to speak now? Like I get into this place, not in, like, and I don't express it. That's kind of like in my mind.
Yeah.
Or I take it back to my office, and, like, the people who have nothing to do with it get to hear me yell about stuff. But I do fear that, because in ways you can watch a person act. And when you're watching them act, it's like, no, I need you to not act.
Just
I need you to be. Yeah. Like, so
well, it's
that
like
scares me
I think there
sometimes.
are two roads to that, though. And I think one is abusing your actors, and one is creating an environment they feel so safe in that they can fully relax and do their job. And so I think one of those is obviously better than the other.
True.
And both can elicit incredible performances.
I mean, like, Mamet's whole thing, because, like, there's obviously, like, there's method acting, there's all sorts of types of acting, and there's all sorts of schools of acting, and there's different ways of getting different acting across. And I think that there are definitely safe ways and there are unsafe ways. And we've seen that there are unsafe ways by actors who do great performances and then end up either mentally distraught or end up killing themselves, or end up addicted to pills and end up killing themselves. Or dying by suicide is the better way to say it, I guess, or accidentally dying. I don't know what the best way to say that is.
Things come to an end.
Yeah, their lives end because of the things they're putting themselves through emotionally. And then there are other actors we've seen amazing emotional performances from that's not what's happening to them. Therefore, there must be a better way to do, a safer way to do it.
And I think
That's really better.
I think kind of what you're saying, there's nothing wrong with, like, being a perfectionist and wanting to make sure that the thing you're making gets to where you want it to get and how it is in your head.
Yeah, because I mean,
but I
that's
think
how,
as long as you're creating an environment where, like, your actors feel safe and comfortable, and if you don't get there, you're like, okay, we'll revisit this tomorrow, instead of just, like, driving them until they die. Like, there's nothing wrong with, like, continuing to work with someone to get it where you want it, though.
Perfectionistic, and we're both really hard workers, and I get what you're saying, because, like, that's why we connected so well, is because we were both working so hard on, like, a 48-hour competition, and we were like, oh, you're the only one that cares near as much as I do.
You're the only other person mentally unstable here.
You're the only one willing to work this hard for 48
hours in a row, no breaks,
and go wild and get this done. And, like, I needed someone that cared as much as I did, because I hate being a part of a thing where I can tell that someone doesn't care to their full extent, isn't trying their hardest.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think you can try your hardest in a safe way. And
that is being able to measure that in real time. And, like Victoria, I think you two know Victoria.
Yeah.
So she helped me with another film, a much younger girl that was the lead on that. And it was like, how do I take this relatively first time actress and go, like, I need you to go there. I need you to mentally be afraid and have that performance. And Victoria, you do it. Like, because like, I can't, what I want to say that I think evokes emotion that a woman could relate to, I might not be the safest delivery for that.
For those words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think that's really good to notice.
Yeah.
Whatever I thought about saying, Victoria said way worse, but it,
it came from her.
It came from her, and she knew how to begin that message by saying, you're safe.
Yeah.
So first of all, XYZ, and that was able to get her, and you could see it in the performance that she did go there and she
I
was
think
able to break
that's
it.
great. I think you're already better than Kubrick in that
that
you
sense.
cared.
Thank
You cared about the emotional safety of an actress on your set and tried to do what you could to make sure that was preserved.
There's even like stories of Spielberg emotionally
Better than
manipulating
Kubrick.
children.
yeah.
like-
You can quote me on that. Put that on your
There we go.
last row. Better than Kubrick.
Pull a quote right there.
But I mean, even
Better
on
person. I
our
don't know
set,
about
better
filmmaker.
person. Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm early.
I mean, even just like not even, just playing to your strengths too, though, because like on our sets, often Patrick has a lot more acting training than I do, and he often just has more of the words to like get people there. So Patrick is often the one for difficult scenes on our sets to like do the coaching for our actors for that. I think just because he's better at it, that's what we've fallen into in that regard.
That.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's some really, to go back to Kubrick, because that's what we were talking about.
2001.
In 2001. I think that there are some really cool things in the technique of filmmaking that he is playing with within his films, especially in 1968. Like that's 2001.
Yeah, once again, thinking about the time, like a lot of the visuals and the way they did those effects was very
and like in 1968,
groundbreaking.
Sci-fi was a joke. Like there weren't serious sci-fi films. There weren't sci-fi films that were like speaking on metaphysics and these beautiful metaphors and all these different things. Like there was that, and then Planet of the Apes came out the same year, which is awesome, and we just did that on the
Two
podcast
films
as well.
with very
But like so, 68 really changed
heavy.
sci-fi. I think that's game changing for sci-fi. But I think he does do some very interesting things in that film, and I think that the film is, if you give it your full attention, it's got some cool things within it, and it does tell a story, but it tells a story in a way that's not the typical way to tell a story, and I find it very interesting in form.